if I'm not mistaken, I played 15K, 35K yesterday.
Yeah,
Or so.
yeah.
It's like, oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. I just usually by default double the number, and then add a little bit more.
Just
it's the simplest way
double
to
it and
do
then
it.
throw another chip on and see what
Yeah,
that does.
yeah. Grab another two reds and call it a day. I like it though. It's different.
Yeah, it is, and
I'm tired. It's
obviously
kind
the whole thing
poker
is just
gets it's monotonous. It's the same thing every time. I like the change of pace and the especially with the new, like I said, the button ante. It's cool. It just makes the game fresher for me.
yeah. It's obviously the main aim is just to not have big jumps in blind levels, which is annoying when you're playing a tournament.
Right.
You find your way up to 35 bigs, and then the levels jump so much that you're down to like 23 again.
Yeah, it's complete opposite. You're literally throwing. Yeah, today it was we started 70K big blind, and then played 80K big blind. So you get 60K, 70K, and 80K big blind.
Yeah.
So it's not only do you not skip anything, they're just throwing in 70K big blind, and it allows for more play. So I really like it.
Well, Mark Oliver, his first hand since joining this table, he's going to raise up pocket queens under the gun.
Do you know anything about Mark Oliver? Is he?
I was just looking here. He was in Barca. In fact, he came 7th in the warm up there.
Okay.
Which is the €2,500 event there. Got 42K for that.
Cool.
42K euros, in fact.
So he's on the party poker tour then, basically.
Yeah, he's out and about. But interestingly though, is Francois, who's in seat 1. He came 2nd in that same event.
Wow.
So these two Canadians both came over to Barca, came 2nd.
So we got Viktor and Eldridge, who 1st and 2nd, and then it's funny how that works.
Yeah, these guys both come to Barca, come 2nd and 7th in the 2.5K, and now here they are. Day 1 of this 25K back in Montreal. As we see, Viktor's going to be a little trouble here. He's played Jack 4 from the button and flopped top pair. Marc's checked it over to him as well. This is players trading on Viktor's reputation here. Just check everything to him.
Yep. And that's what Viktor knows. That's why he bets his top pair, because in his head, this is
this is
got
a slam
the
dunk
nuts.
bet.
Yeah,
the guy's going to check full move with loads of bad hands.
Exactly.
Well, a 7 on the turn makes Marc's hand a little stronger.
Yeah, that's a great card if you're Marc, because 7, I would expect Viktor to do a lot of checking back with the 7. So it's, I mean, you just got to feel like there's no way you could be beat here, and just ready to funnel in as many chips as Viktor wants to bet. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, Marc guessing thinks it's just Viktor's almost always bluffing here. As it happens, he has top pair.
Yeah.
It's a fun spot. He bets 190K.
And Viktor makes his living off of value, getting value because of his image. He likes to be aggressive, and he knows that, so he needs to bet his top pairs in the same fashion. So the only time it gets tricky for him is when his opponent has overpairs in the situation, and now he's kind of in no man's land.
Marc making that his decision here, but of course you can see almost always just call here.
Yep.
Let Viktor keep bluffing.
I wonder if Viktor checks back the river. Pretty frequent, I would assume, right? I mean, once Marc calls the turn, you'd assume.
You'd hope so. But if he just thinks, well, I think Marc would just bet his jack on the flop, and now he's calling me. Maybe he has a hand like 9s.
Ace King
eights.
too is reasonable to play.
Well, he's probably not going to check that river.
I don't think he's going to. Yeah.
And this is a disaster for Marc, because
that's a tough one. Literally the 2-outer on the river.
Well, 861 in the pot. Marc has 594 back. Just covers Viktor's 542.
This constitute is a bad beat for sure.
You can draw. Here's a re-entry here. They have 1 re-entry each. You just got to reach in the pocket, find another 25K and flick it in. Easily done.
If he won that tournament instead of getting 5th.
Okay, now Viktor does the other. I love this. Have a look at my cards again. Really?
Yeah. Oh, still 8-9. That's what he's convincing himself. It's just so hard to, this. I don't know what I would do with queens here. I mean, it's just a gross spot because Viktor. We know he bets often.
Right. Yeah. He's going to bet that jack.
Even versus a technically sound player, 8-9 is such a likely holding to bet twice with that. Someone should still have bluffs here, and it's just really difficult to make a decision.
Well, the good thing for Marc is he seems to be going. He's cut out 325 though in reds.
Yeah,
he's not going for all of it.
He might not go all in. Yeah.
There you go. 325, and Marc's obviously not going to like it. I can't see how he can really fold here.
Yeah.
Is there a spot where we could still be thinking, Viktor might be betting hand like nines, or be very thin to bet twice with nines and then bet this river?
So. I mean, I think he's definitely, I think he's probably just bluffing or has a jack. I mean,
yeah,
maybe a random 7, but I wouldn't think so. So
he's obviously being, 4, 6, 6, 8, 8,
yeah,
9.
I don't think the only way he could maybe find a fold is if, like you said, the antics. Viktor was, the physical.
He plays quick most of the time.
Yeah. I'd be a little suspicious. Like, why did he just do a whole show for no reason?
And maybe there's bet size as well, just 325.
Yeah. Right. Looks like it wants to be called, doesn't it? I mean,
Viktor on go out on a limb and say, "Wow, what a fold from Marc."
Yeah, it's a very good fold.
Great fold. Work that one out.
This place exists solely for poker. I mean, where else in the States that doesn't have? They had those. Who knows if they would do that well? It's.
Look at this. John Queen's under the gun. He'll raise it up. And Viktor looks. Well, King 5 suited to Viktor's like ace king to most people.
Yeah, he's licking his lips.
He's like, well, if I 3-bet him here, it's going to look so strong.
Which he's right about.
Yeah, it's true.
There you go.
And that is a big fold for Viktor. Well, Francois with 6-4 diamonds on the button. He only has 600k. Doesn't want to play it.
Oh, no. Oh, man. What does GTO say to do here? Oh.
Well, this is one of these spots where obviously in a heads-up pot against the guy. We can assume John hasn't been studying the solvers too much.
I don't think so.
He isn't going to worry too much about that.
Man, you get a guy like John. He comes out. He's playing a big high-stakes tournament. He's excited, and then he just gets moderately cooler versus an elite, fellow Canadian. It's just. There
we go. 3-bet to 135. Interesting to see what John does here.
Yeah.
He'd be suspicious, of course.
It's just so tough when you have queens. It's especially if you're recreational in some way. It's just so hard because it's like, what else do you do but try to get more chips in? It's the third best hand in poker. There's only 6-handed. It's tough.
Yeah, it's worth noting. Of course, they are 6-handed at the moment. I feel just cool here though.
Yeah, we'll see.
Try and play a safe flop. We might still have to go with it post, but
135.
looks like he is.
135.
Usually when they ask that question, they're calling.
Yeah. Good.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a good call from John there.
Yeah, definitely.
Does keep.
Maybe it'll come ace high and he'll get saved.
Well, this is the thing. Obviously, you don't necessarily go broke when you're behind, and you do keep some of your opponent's bluffs in.
And
occasionally you flop top set.
Told you should have gotten it in.
And Greenwood with kings of the king of clubs. That's a pretty gin flop for him.
Yeah, and just like that, I was sympathizing with John. Now he's gonna get win a nice pot.
Yeah. Interesting. Greenwood, you feel just will bet here.
Yeah. In his head, he's about to stack ace queen.
Yeah. And he's probably hoping, I guess, that bet that John's got. Yeah, I mean, a queen would be dreamy, but maybe a pocket pair that doesn't want to fold yet. Let's see the Hollywood. Here we go.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, 1 queen, 2 queen. It's like he's peeling it again for the first time.
You guys watching on stream, this is always. I mean, you learn so much watching people play poker with cards up, but especially you pick up live tells on people. You see all this acting, top set. Something if you sat at the table, you may not really notice this because you're half paying attention.
Right.
Especially when you know they got the nuts and you watch them have
a lot of these GTO guys don't really care about live.
There we go. Yeah.
Where the old school would say, "Look at the guy."
Yeah.
He
does all that then says raise.
See, that's what I'm saying. Is Lucas going to get away? I mean, he can't. I don't know. Was it enough of a red flag to fold kings? I mean,
I can't see how he's ever going to fold, but he's going to be suspicious.
I'm inclined to agree. It's such a big. Look how much of a stack it is, though. It's like you almost have to make the decision right here. It's.
Yeah. We just have kings with the club.
Yeah, it's. Oh man, it's so interesting.
I guess
You're
he doesn't expect. Obviously, he's got the king of clubs, which blocks some of John's bluffs. Some of his flush draws, but not that many, right? Because you would expect him, I guess, to necessarily have call with a hand like king 10 of clubs. Maybe he's thinking John could have a nut flush draw here, though.
Yeah, 8-9. Yeah, he's just
there we go. Move it in.
Yeah. I guess he just called. He just called. He just called.
Oh, sorry.
Did he just call?
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, he has moved it in. By John's.
Oh no.
Oh no, John's giving him.
Oh no.
John's giving him the slow roll.
Oh John. Oh John, what are you doing, buddy?
John's giving him the slow roll.
No, this is
amazing.
Oh no. He called.
This is amazing. Let's see Luke's face when he sees this. Wow. Amazing. Well, Greenwood not dead. Can hit a king or running clubs here.
Oh no. That was hard to watch. Well, maybe you'll do like Sam will.
Well, ace on the turn. Just a king left. 7 on the river. John improves to a full house, and we'll get a full double up here. Greenwood left with
800.
about 735,000.
809.
The slow roll, the older one. Oh, really? Darren has raised it up. Ace 6 suited under the gun +2. Viktor calls a king queen. Francois with ace 10 on the button. There's some decisions here, right? Thinks Darren's raising wide. There's Viktor's flat in between. He may want to isolate Viktor.
I think it's a really good hand to go ahead and try to 3-bet. Yeah.
Right, it's quite a bad hand to take 3-way, but it's just a great candidate for the 3-bet bluff.
Exactly.
145.
And Darren, a part of me, you know, it's like the last hand of hand before break. I mean, he has ace 6 of spades. It's a good hand, but it's not. I don't think it's an necessarily automatic open in this situation. And I think what sways him to doing it is he's hoping everyone wants to go for a little smoke. They smoke a lot of cigarettes out here in Canada.
Certainly do. There's a break. Some of these guys hanging around to watch this hand.
He's not convinced. I mean, look.
Yeah. And he does give it up. Viktor, though, king queen, quickly flicks it in.
You got like 600 behind? More like 5? Okay. Are you pot committed?
Well, Jack 10-3, 2 hearts.
Viktor's pot committed now.
Francois does have the backdoor nut hearts. Viktor with the queen high hearts.
Yeah, I think this should go check, check.
Well, Francois taking his time over this one. No shot clock, of course, on day one of these events. We introduce it when we get close to the money.
Check.
He does eventually check that one back. Turn of 5.
Very safe turn.
Comes Viktor.
Yep. I'm definitely calling at least once.
135,000.
So you got it. Oh. Like it.
135 the bet.
This is where poker gets difficult. I mean, it's not an easy game. You're sitting here with you 3-bet, you flop a pair, which is always nice, and you know you almost are forced to check back because every other option seems bad. But now you check back, and now you're facing a bet on the turn and
against Viktor as well.
Against Viktor, who so could have he could have all the jack, a bunch of jacks, and you're just almost drawing dead and. You're going to want to call the river, and if he has a jack, well, there you go. You're heading to the parking lot.
Well, a jack on the river.
Right.
Is a good card for him.
I think it's a good card for Francois, actually.
Yeah. So, I mean,
right,
it's a good card because way less likely, of course, Viktor
Yeah.
now has a jack.
Yeah, and it's just.
Although he does move
wow,
all
the
in, which is one of these really weird spots.
Yeah,
Why he
he's-
snap calls him.
Yeah, he's just too.
You win.
Yep, and of course he does call. Viktor says
Yep.
you win.
Yep.
Francois wanted to see it, and we'll get a full double up here then. Results he's had. Actually, Toby doesn't really strike me as the person who's ever going to be late for day 2. I think he's just going to be too organised. He's too professional. Just get it done. Look at this Isildur with queens now, opening his range right up.
It's just not fair, is it?
Skipped over the kings.
Second ever live tournament is getting to play a Isildur.
Yeah, well,
Almost every other pot.
Second tournament you get first. Third tournament you take on an Isildur with money in your pocket. And well, looks like he may do some chips here.
It's got to be quite a lot of people's poker dream.
85,000.
We'll check for the 85. Impression is he's 2 quick players playing here. See, Isildur famously plays very fast.
240.
240 bet. Kevin will quickly call with his 6. Well, 5 on the river. It's completely a couple of draws, but Isildur. So what sort of value can you extract here, do you think?
I mean, he called very quickly on the turn, didn't he? So
Right, yeah.
you just have to put him on a 6, really.
He didn't appear to think about raising.
And I guess 8-9's in there as well, but I'd probably go quite big.
That's not pretty big. 650 is the bet. Quick call from Kevin. The bad news. Isildur takes down a big pot here. Does take the table chip lead. Of course, there are still 24 remaining in this tournament. I'm sure he's not going to do anything with the 8s over the move all in, and he does this time put those chips in the middle. Joao getting
Wide, right?
good price here with his Jack-10 of clubs. He'll find himself in an exact flip here against John's pocket 8s. So then, John at risk of elimination here. His 8s racing against Jack-10 suited.
A little bit of a dirty flip there.
Wow! Look at this flop, still is dirty. Set against the opening, a straight draw and a flush draw.
Everything there.
3 on the turn. John looking in good shape to double up here, but there's still 13 outs against his set. And well, Jack on the river gives Joao a pair, but that's not enough. John will double up.
Keep all his bluffs in. Whoa. Now this is extremely, this is like below the bottom of Farrell's range. From the undergun spot, like 5-6 suited, he just couldn't let it go.
Sometimes you're playing live poker, you're drinking wine, you just look down at a pretty hand.
I don't know, I'm saying like 6-7 suited would be even closer. 7-8 suited, I think it is.
Zinno with King Jack in the same suit from the cutoff. He's going to call.
I'm not saying like I don't do what Farrell just done. I'm saying like if I'm in this spot under the gun and it's live poker and having a wee drink of red wine,
Then you're going to be playing.
I think I'll be playing the 5-6 of clubs.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like
1.1.
a lot of players wouldn't be.
Gerald with pocket 9s in the small blind.
Yeah, this is the kind of hand. He's on a small blind. He doesn't want to go
Why
3
would I?
ways, possibly 4 ways to the flop, playing out of trap 1 in
I
every
believe you
street.
a low percentage of the time.
So I'm going to guess he's going to take the aggressive option
I like to talk in absolutes.
and either
That's why I gotta call
squeeze,
any
call it
6
off, or maybe even just be happy with the pot and jam all in.
Right, okay.
Picking up like close to 20%. Oh, he's went for the flat call.
He's gone for the flat.
Fair enough. I'm saying like I wouldn't mind.
Is part of that predicated by Zinno's stack size flatting pre? Is he worried that maybe Zinno's laying a trap?
I'm saying like fair enough. Zinno could be laying a trap here, but I don't think it happens that often.
Okay.
So I think you're only concerned about getting it in against Farrell and getting unlucky, him having a better hand.
Well, Marc does.
I would elect to squeeze and not go 4 ways here, because when he does peel the 9s, it always goes 4 ways, and he's
Yeah.
playing out of position 1.
I was gonna say,
He's
Marc-
forced to act in every street.
Marc did get in for the cheap with 4-7. Look at this flop then. So Gerald has his
And
overpair.
Yeah,
Farrell top 2, and Marc with bottom pair and the open-ended straight draw.
and Anthony had a very good hand, and he flopped his.
Have a look at this. It's going to check through.
This is insane.
How was
Well, Farrell has to check this flop with his range. I'm saying, like, because he can't just bet it for the sake of it when he has it.
Well, 4 on the turn gives Marc the lead.
Whoa, this hand's all changed now, because now
Gerald's
Gerald.
going to think he's got the best hand.
Gerald's thinking, okay, that 4 could be a good hand,
But
good
we
card.
see
I mean,
Marc is in there, way out in front now.
You didn't even have like Jack deuce of hearts.
It's
You
gonna
had
go-
ace deuce of hearts.
bet from Gerald, flat call from Marc, and Farrell might be able to fold. He might be able to find a hero fold here.
We're on the next hand, and I had kings. It's coming. One red one and one black one.
They're one hand away from finding out which other had in that big pot.
The club and a red one.
'Cause what can Marc actually else do here apart from like flat call?
I mean,
Right.
nice
So like,
bluff.
I think Farrell can find the fold here.
Call.
He's going to be hating life.
I would never.
I'm hoping you didn't have ace jack of
There's,
clubs.
like-
I mean, that would be ridiculous. Really.
6-7 offsuit, 6x of hearts.
I don't even.
He
believe that.
blocks one of the 6s. Marc can have all the 4s. He's definitely taking the price.
What did you have?
Gerald can have pocket 8s, pocket 9s.
Right.
This is a
You know you
nasty
what?
spot. This is a spot that doesn't come up that often.
You're just wasting
Like,
time.
this is a hard one to actually figure out what to
I'm
do,
not even thinking about it.
what is correct. This is why Farrell's going to be here for
You know,
a
I
while.
don't know.
Well, he's moved to his chips now.
I was going to say, cool. So obviously he still
I'll
has
have to think
outs
about it
to a
all now.
house.
But the problem is here, he doesn't want to see a deuce, a 3, a 7,
Right.
an 8, or an over card,
Yeah,
because
he's-
if it comes to Jack of Spades, somebody could have Jack Queen of Hearts, and he's counterfeited.
Well,
I'm saying there's
three-way
so
to
many
this
cards.
river.
He needs a 5 or a 6, obviously.
Wow.
Wowza!
Marc then hits runner, quads. Gerald's going to think his hands are near lock.
Well, this is a snap, like slam dunk. Probably, actually, Gerald has to check call for Aldo because he still has bigger overpairs that he
Right.
checks the flop with.
Okay.
But it might just go check.
And just,
Actually, I think it might go check.
I was going to say, does Marc have the most interesting spot here, whether to bet this or not?
No, I think range-wise, I'm saying like balance-wise, I don't think you can bet it. Because what's he betting with?
Well, that's what I mean, Marc. I think it's the most interesting spot. And again, he can expect Farrell to jam when check to with those overpairs, right?
Everyone's got to assume a lot of Farrell's range here is flush draws and overpairs, but
Right.
more likely overpairs.
Well, look at this.
So
Gerald.
maybe Gerald's going to put a wee blocker bet, or else he's going to think he's going for good value here.
I would acknowledge it.
And then Marc, of course, will just call here with these quads, try and get Farrell in.
I don't know about that. I'm saying like maybe it is the best play, and the fact that he's not absolutely last to act. It's not like he's
I just want the actual hand.
obviously if you're last to act and you call, you get punished.
Such a twitch by even knowing what they say. My chance always.
Does he?
Put away.
Which just shoves it.
Does move all in.
And this is an easy fold for Gerald. Unless he absolutely levels himself, but it's an easy fold. Four, 5 of spades is there. 4, 7 of spades, 4, 8 of spades, 3, 4 of spades. And then you've got the queen, 4 of spades, king, 4 of
Right.
spades. All the 4 of spades is there.
put a lot of chips into this pot.
Actually makes it easier for him to fold when he bets so much.
Right. It's just a suicide bluff if it's a bluff for Marc, and they just...
I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of the sizing, to be honest. The 430 on the river, I would have went for like 275 or something. It does the same thing.
Right. Stops yourself getting
And
bluffed.
I actually think it was too thin a value bet for that size.
Well,
And I think
what's Farrell
and I
saying
think
here?
Farrell could have folded the turn. I think he could have.
Yeah,
There's a live updates tab there if you want to follow things in the 1K going on or the main event.
I think you got vanilla? Yeah.
Seat 8 raise 150. Seat 1 fold. Seat 2 fold.
Farrell going,
And you have the card.
try to make it 2 from 2. Opens it up with pocket 10s in the hijack action.
Okay.
Round to Toby in the small. And well, he's going to rip it in.
Seat 3 raise.
Get bad news. 'Cause no way Farrell's folding.
Call. Seat 5 fold. Call.
Yeah, and can I have orange juice as well?
So snap call then for Farrell. Toby at risk with his ace-8 of
Can I have an orange
diamonds.
juice too, please? Miss? Can I have an orange juice too, please?
Toby in need of help here. Well, Jack 9-3, 1 diamond. No good for Toby. Will need that ace. 5 gives him no extra outs. And well, 4 on the river. Toby Lewis then eliminated on a second hand of play here today.
No problem.
Sad to see him go. As we alluded to yesterday, he's had an unbelievable start to the year already. Looks like there was another raiser first. Marc has jammed over the top. Sean has called from the cutoff. Can't see who the original opener was in seat 3. It looks like it's Darren Elias. So the chip leader had opened early position, been jammed on, and a flat call behind. He does give it up. And, well, Queen Jack, it looks like, for Marc. Or 2 queens, in fact, but it looks like he's up against the aces. And it was Queen Jack, 8-8-5 flop, drawing dead on the turn. So Sean's aces will knock Marc out as we inch ever closer to the money. Of course, Marc did sneak into the money in the 10K high roller. But no joy here today in this 25K. It looks like we're down to 12 players by my reckoning. 2 tables of 6. But 7 get paid in this event. Wow, look at this hand. Farrell with the nuts. Queens full. I'm guessing Kevin's open under the gun. Farrell's peeled from the small. Anthony from the big. I imagine the flop checked round. And wow. Zinno gave up his 8s, but Kevin calls with deuces on this board. Oh my God, what a river card. The dream. Kevin's made a call on the turn where he can beat nothing, and has now pinged the 1 card that's going to get him to almost certainly double up Farrell here. This is gin. Farrell is deciding just how much to bet. What does he think Kevin has? Expect Farrell to go big here. And Kevin, sure, thinks he has the best hand now. Will be moving all in. $5.25 is the bet. Kevin will do a bit of acting here with his full house.
Raise.
There is the raise. Farrell cannot believe his luck. He has the nuts and has been raised on the river by Kevin. Just a matter of time. He puts those chips in the middle. Question will be is, can Kevin fold? He does move all in. Farrell should never 3-bet, shove this river with worse than deuces full. Will Kevin know that? Will Kevin get away from this? Farrell's not going for all of it. Makes it a size that's going to make it really hard for Kevin to fold. Just a million more.
Good call.
Kevin quickly calls. Farrell shows him the queen's full. Well, Kevin flashes him the deuces.
Like not a lot, but knowing I had that, I would have shoved.
How much?
2.2.
We heard that Farrell, if he knew he had that, he would have shoved. He just didn't think Kevin could ever be as strong as a full house. The way that hand played out. King, Queen, of course, blocks a lot of the hands that Zinno's going to 3-bet call in with. Exactly the same reason why Zinno would 3-bet with that hand, because it blocks the hand's chances to jam with. As we see Joao raise the button, pocket eights. Little ace-jack off in the small. Probably going to look to try and get this in here. 3-bet against the button open. We'll make it 450.
Raised to 450,000.
Chance of pocket sixes in the big blind. Can make a move here. Isidore's up to no good against that button raise. It would work if he were to pull off the cold 4-bet here. Terrible hand to do it with. He is going to go for it. Makes it 1.175, the cold 4-bet. What's the one saving grace of doing this with sixes is that he's obviously committed against Joao, and if he has big ace, and of course would be flipping. He doesn't block Isidore having any hands. Joao will fold it. Isidore then. He had this hand drawn up in his head, how it's going to go down. And the chance comes out with the cold 4-bet. I expect how we've seen Isidore play up to now that he'll just give this one up. Suspicious. He does give it up. Great play there by Chance, and he shows the 6. Well, makes a lot of chips there with that cold 4-bet. And gets to show
I'll
bluff.
protect your button open.
Huh?
I'll protect your button open.
He's out here always stylish, rocking the hat.
Yeah. But yeah, it's funny you said that, because obviously I actually finally got around to watching Molly's game on the flight over here. So
Okay.
it's funny, and then the first first day we come in here, we're doing coverage, and he's on the table. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yep, I know this guy.
There we go then. Play underway on our final table. Average stack 52 big blinds. Pretty awesome.
We have the Twitch chat. I get separation anxiety. You know, I love Twitch. I don't like to have them away.
We're usually just up on the My Partypoker live chat, but because Jeff's in here,
All
we're
right,
going to make
my
a special
man. Look at
exception.
this. I look
he's
at.
the
I
Twitch
mean,
man.
come on now. There's some. This good. Twitch chat's always strong.
You Twitch guys, usually I force you to jump on over to mypartypokerlive.com, but it's Jeff, so we're going to make an exception. He's
I'm
the
not
Twitch
here
boy.
long. Come on, man. Yeah, I love Twitch, and it's good to see a lot of familiar faces up there.
Look at this hand. We're not going to see any of the cards for this one. Okay, we're going to have to do some guessing.
All right. That can
John's
be
raised
fun.
under the gun off that short stack. Chance has called under the gun +1. And look at this Joao under the gun +3, seemingly with a decision.
And I would definitely, I would anticipate John's range is so tight here. I don't know if he's even, and I guess he's got to raise like nines, but like I would think he's literally playing like jacks plus ace king in this spot. I don't know if he does with ace queen. I don't know if he's going to raise ace queen here even with this dynamic. This stack
Right,
size
he's
is
so
under the
short,
gun.
Yeah. And you see there, of course, we do now have the shot clock in operation. Joao put in one of those time extension chips.
And,
Well, here we go. Here are the hands. You're right.
Oh, well, no, I'm not.
Oh, no,
He did-
sorry.
he
I'm looking
did
at the
have
hands the wrong way around.
sixes.
John's
Okay.
got sixes. Chance has
Wow.
just flat with queens, and Joao surely is going to fall into this one with jacks.
Jeez. Sick flat from Chance. I mean, honestly, I think probably what's going through Chance's mind is it is a little trappy, but also thinking like, I don't think he is raising like, well, sixes, which he is, or like ace queen, ace jack. So I think that's kind of part of Chance thinking that maybe he's got ace king or a super premium. He doesn't just want to blast off into an under the gun raise on this
Of course,
stack.
more important, if he is raising with one of those hands, he's just going to fold it a lot of the time. And
Right.
So you're going to turn queens to a bluff. And of course, the rare situation crops up like this, where he flats. And you imagine Joao, obviously, you can see how suspicious he is of the situation. But 17 bigs. Yeah, he is going to move it in.
Interesting enough, I might fold this spot. It's obviously easy to see the cards face up. I would be a little more concerned about John here than Chance even flatting. But it's kind of alarming when it's under the gun +1, raising a flat. But
I'm sure it's not his mistake, but
it's a very sick spot. Jacks is probably one of those hands where it's just a little too good to just throw it away. So I definitely can't blame him.
Well, John's going to make a decision, but I can't say he's going to call his sixes. We know Chance will, of course, snap his queens, and so it is Joao going to be at risk here of elimination. First hand of our final table.
Jeez, first hand.
There you go. He was suspicious. He thought he might run into queens, but in a different seat, perhaps.
Yeah, it's a nasty spot. Come back from the break, get a really good hand. You're on a short stack, get a super premium, and it's a pretty big cooler.
Well, he's of course not dead. He can hit one of those jacks. Otherwise, we will be on the direct bubble, and Chance will have a very big
I
stack.
think he said he had jacks as well.
Queen jack.
Queen jack.
Oh, is that true?
No, just trolling around.
Well, a 9-7-4 2-heart flop. No good for Joao. We'll need one of those jacks.
Yeah, it's a very safe flop for Chance. He has the hearts covered on the backdoor side. There's no heart for Joao, and he is definitely in need of a jack with 2 to come.
Well, 5 on the turn. Does keep his outs live to 2.
Yeah, he was looking for an 8 or 10 to add some more, but it's not the case. He's got 1 to come.
And while the king of diamonds on the river, we will lose Joao in the first hand of this final. He eliminated in 9th place. And it does put us now on the money bubble, as well as the official final table. He's made a final table. I hate when people do this.
Yeah,
it's like,
I know, right?
you're down to the last table, it's a final table.
It does hurt to final table and not cash, because that's kind of rare. This field size, just enough, just not enough. Maybe 60 or.
Once you get long bubbles, they just go so quick. We're talking, of course, to Mike Sexton in Barcelona. We had him in, and he was talking, of course, the bubble of the 1 million one drop way back when. And he was on that, and he was like, this is going to be a sweaty bubble. He was a short stack, and it lasted exactly 1 hand.
I do forget what happened, but he made it in there, right?
He made it in there, and it was a Sam Trickett. Ray's called it off with King 8, I think Mike says, and busted a guy.
Okay.
And yeah, so forevermore, Mike has sworn that Sam Trickett's his life hero, and he loves him
awesome.
so much.
That's a tough one to bubble. I mean, we can talk about bubbles, not the buy-ins. Is it all relative? But $1 million bubble is that's significant.
Oh, look at this. Maybe with that bubble consideration, Farrell just flats ace king against Isildur's early position raise.
Interesting. That does not play well for for
John.
yeah, if this type of stuff's going to happen.
And get Viktor in the pot with pocket sixes.
Yeah, 2 pairs in his hand.
Well, King 9-5, gut shot Isildur, top pair for Farrell.
I like the flat. The thing to consider when flatting is when you do go multi-way. Now, this is a kind of the problem. Like, you actually flop top, and I mean, it's a dicey board. Like, you have the big blind in there. You have Isildur has a hand that has a bunch of equity. Well, has a gut shot, and then let's say it came King 6-9. Like, is he?
Right.
Now you're allowing that hand where you would have folded if you 3-bet to be in there. And you could potentially lose a massive pot.
So sometimes 3-betting is actually the less variance route than flatting with a hand like Ace King.
Yeah.
Well, Isildur is going to bet that gut shot. Can you imagine if Rado will just call here?
That's better, Darren.
See, when you have flat with Ace King and it's come King High, things are looking pretty good.
Yeah. And this is about as good a scenario as he can have. It's interesting to see what type of cards is Isildur. Is he going to... Viktor's going to go away. What kind of is he going to be continuing to apply pressure?
Right.
With certain.
From Rado's point of view, obviously Isildur's opened up early position. He doesn't really have any of the 2-pair combos here. I imagine.
Yeah. Oh no, he's not. He likes his hand a lot.
So obviously the 9 on the turn, a good card for his Ace King. It's unlikely Isildur would have C-bet a 9 on that board. So again, what I think Rado will think.
Yeah. No, this is for sure one of the better cards. He doesn't have to worry about. Yeah. Even like if a Jack, 10, or Queen, that is something he would definitely be worried about. A possible gut shot that he's betting. A heart would be alarming immediately. So this is for sure one of the better cards in his mind.
Well, Isildur going for it. Look at this. 1 million bet with just his gut shot.
1,050,000.
A lot of pressure. Farrell does have Ace King, so unfortunate timing for him. This is all working out well for Farrell.
It is, but it's Isildur's that kind of guy, though, too, Neil. He's got to be realizing if he flats here, he's the type of player that is capable of shelling that all-in, having him covered on the bubble. And, although you do feel great having Ace-King, it's about the best hand you could have here, flatting your hand's under rep for sure. And it's less likely Isildur has aces. It's a little scary. I mean, you just got to realize you're going to call here. The pot's going to be massive. And going to the river, you could be put in a tough spot.
Yeah, he's using a time chip here, but...
Also, you start seeing the replays. You mentioned Isildur has had aces a lot this week.
Yeah,
could he have aces?
He's not got crazy out of line at any point.
Right.
Obviously, Farrell made a hero call against him earlier and lost. But I think obviously with a hand like Ace King, he's just,
he's definitely continuing. I think he
probably knows he's got Isildur in bad shape. Of course, Farrell doesn't have a heart either, so he didn't block any of those flush draws.
Call.
Does make the call, so I've got big pot building here. John's loving this, right?
John's like, please, someone get cooler.
This could happen already. And we see Farrell with a pot-sized bet back. Isildur is going to go for bullet number 3. He might shove a lot in. Well, ace on the river. Farrell top 2 now. And this is a really weird spot, right?
This is interesting that Isildur could actually, this is that card he could be thinking, maybe my opponent has King Queen suited, King Jack suited, and is hanging on. This is one I think he's going to be.
Well, that was going to be my question. I mean, obviously, Farrell, he doesn't expect Farrell to have Ace King, I guess, that often. So maybe he's thinking he's got hand like King Queen. Can Isildur now rep? Can Isildur make him fold now? Obviously, we see Farrell is never going to fold this hand.
Wow. How much did he bet?
2.5 million. So it is most of Farrell's chips. He does call. Isildur shows the Queen High. Farrell picks up a huge pot to start this final table and takes the chip lead, in fact, I think, with that 9.7 million, just ahead of Darren.
Wow. Such a beautifully executed hand. Such a beautiful run out for his hand as well. I mean, just no scare. I wonder if Isildur went all in, if it would change. I don't think so. Maybe he would have thought a little longer, but I think he's just it's too good. You're at the top of his range. And
exactly that. He doesn't block any of the...
Right. He's almost like, all right, well, if you have aces or kings, bless you.
Tournament regs. So Chance will raise it up. He's had to watch people play a few hands. Chance is like, I don't want to miss out on some fun here.
Yeah.
Queen 7
of diamonds. What you're
playing now? Rooting for John.
How much are you playing now? He asks, I don't know. This many. Like, usually I just look at the screen and it tells me. And wow, what a flop this is. Ace, Queen, Deuce, 2 diamonds, Chance, second pair, and the flush draw, Isildur with top pair.
Now this bodes well for John. This is a potential scenario where this could get out of hand.
5 bets, 200,000.
Isildur I thought he was reaching for a raise there, maybe. That would be sexy.
Quick call. You can see Isildur looks a little flustered about that last hand. It just kind of like, he was in commanding control, and now he is.
That is the nuts for chance.
I mean, what a turn card.
Yeah.
A little double check.
Like he does the old double check of the cards.
I love that. Usually when I see people do that, to me it means they have one diamond.
Right.
Like they have one of a suit.
Checking. Was that red card?
Yeah. Was it?
Diamond?
Yeah. Exactly. Do I have ace jack off with the, or ace x with the whatever or whatever? So I think that, I wonder if he was just really double checking, or if that's just like a balance that he does. Even another check.
Look again now as well.
That's live.
I mean, I've seen launching these guys a lot. That to me just always they have it. But when he looks back at that second time right at the end, but one thing I'd be pretty sure of is Isildur doesn't look at that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Isildur just plays the situations. And he's that big on his.
That's funny and true too.
His live stuff. And I say he gets away from all the spots, Isildur.
Is he using a time bank?
Yeah. And Isildur obviously plays super fast as well, so it's pretty rare. Well, he's using time bank to play with his.
He looks visibly flustered. I mean, he starts the final table. What position was he in? Second or third? I mean, he was just super comfortable into a bluff gone wrong, into now a really dicey spot. Versus, this is the thing too. If this is a player, on the little snugger side, it's probably a lot easier to get away. But Chance is just so capable, and one of the reasons you see Chance build big stacks is he puts a lot of pressure and plays a lot of hands. So he gets paid a lot more on his big hands. And
does make the call. Wow,
oh my
makes Broadway.
goodness.
This
just
is horrible.
Absolute. I haven't seen a run out this bad since, I don't even know. I mean, this was like literally, I can't even think of an analogy. Like this is like went from worst to terrible. This is literally, I mean, Chance might even, he might bet like pot.
I mean, yeah, this is the situation, right?
He could shove.
Can call a river shove. But what do you think Isildur can call a river bet with it? Is it just, obviously he can have a lower flush. He could have a hand like ace 10 or queen 10. And he has moved all in to try and get it.
Seat 5
Wow.
Isildur's thinking, what is happening? This John is literally in the perfect scenario right now. I mean, this is like, for him, this is one of the ways it draws up, and I don't know if he's going to be able to find a fold here. I think Isildur knows he has the queen of diamonds.
Right, this is the thing. Is it a situation where he thinks Chance may have checked the queen of diamonds back on the flop?
But now here's the thing. What is Chance raising? Let's say he has a queen of diamonds. So if he has two pair, if he has queen, king, ace, queen, is he going to go for it?
Right,
is it so like he's going to check? So it's kind of specifically to the nuts.
But I mean, how many offsuit queen of diamonds combos does he raise with from the cutoff? Like on an 8-handed table, it's kind of a weird spot. But then he might not have the queen of diamonds foot.
He might just say F it.
He might just
go for it.
Come on, let's just go.
He also
could be doing this with any hand, I guess. I mean, Isildur to cool down basically has to have a flush or a straight, and there aren't that many straight combos. I mean, ace 10, queen 10.
He's going to use all his time banks here. This is
Chance is just waiting for him to throw one of those other chips in.
Yeah, he's just waiting for a colored chip to go in. And
it's obviously visibly rattled. Normally he's got great demeanor at the table, and Chance just staring him down.
What a great spot! You just have the nuts against Isildur, who's in the middle of basically a full meltdown.
Yeah.
And this one is unavoidable. I mean, this is just a sick hand. He does need a doctor. I see the doctor emotes out there, and he needs a medic.
Another time chip going in the middle. This is awesome.
This is what a hand. This is the opposite. For like a legendary, memorable hand for Isildur, he's gonna he can hit replay that call he made. This is like this final table is basically gone.
He went with
they're
the
moving
fake.
closer.
He calls. That's it. That is it. Chance will knock him out with the nuts, and as quick as that, we have broken our bubble.
And John,
incredible. John's like, he goes, thanks.
John's like, I owe you a beer.
Wow. And Isildur, as you say, came in as one of the chip leaders on this final table, went for the 3-barrel bluff against Farrell, and then backdoors a straight against the nut flush here. As quick as that. Viktor Blom is the bubble boy.
Good sportsmanship is shown here all around. Everyone shaking hands. The two bubble boys, the photo bubble boy and the.
I don't know if you saw or heard out on the floor that Isildur, of course, was about third or fourth in chips coming to the final and was out in a.
No way.
As quick as a flash.
What
made
happened?
A 3-barrel bluff against Farrell, and then just a couple of hands later made a straight on the river when Chance had a flush and ended up calling all in. So we've got 4 guys basically with big stacks, and then we've got 3 very short stacks.
Someone says I'm too loud. How do we turn this down?
I'll get that fixed. Just don't shout.
I've moved the mic a bit away. Is that better?
Yeah, that does sound better coming through to me. Hopefully that's all right with you guys.
How does that sound, guys? Okay, thank you. Okay, so what can you tell me about this lineup on this 25k final?
Well, all players we've seen already this week, of course. As Chris raised this one up. Farrell flat, and John moves in that short stack. Action quickly back round to Chris, and he's going to worry here with Farrell behind him in the cutoff. And of course, John is a very tight player from what we've seen.
So, John, this is the guy that was on Molly's game, correct?
That is correct.
Great movie, by the way. Anybody watching this hasn't seen it. I absolutely loved it. I want to watch it again. He's all in for 940,000.
Yeah, and Chris will really wants to call this, but with Farrell behind, I think it's a little difficult. And of course, Farrell will snap call. And it is off to the races here for Farrell.
Yeah, Farrell with ace-10 suited. John with 2 black 8s.
It's a fair fight.
Farrell looking for an ace or a 10 as a draw card. John would like to see anything lower than an 8.
Which one do you have? I like you both. I have no preference.
Pick a side. Don't be switching.
You want me to pick a side?
Pick a side.
All right, I'll root for you, buddy.
Okay, here we
He's
go.
got a chance on his side. And a king 4-4, 1 club flop. It's a good flop for John.
It's a good start.
Farrell does pick up that backdoor flush draw. Well, 10 on the turn. That's much better than the backdoor flush draw. That is the hand leading, and just needs to fade an 8 now. And if he does, he will eliminate John in 7th place. It is a deuce. So John was our shortest stack, has now fallen in 7th place. He picks up $60,000 for his efforts.
Yes, all 7 players in the money, including John, who just went out in 7th there. First place receives 375,000. I see Viktor Ramdin's on the phone. He came second, didn't he, in the 10k?
He did indeed.
140 to fill.
I don't know what hands you're going to raise fold with. Well, look at this. Viktor finds ace king the very next hand. Moves it all in with. Zinno lets the 4s go. He would have jammed those, that's for sure. Well, Chris with ace 3 suited. He lets that go.
Picking up 350 a time.
Ask people after the hand. We have a limited time to think. So.
Well, Chance is going to call this hand. I can promise you that much.
Yeah, I need an exact count, I think.
Really?
Just wants to
Versus
see.
anyone else, this would be a slow roll, Viktor.
But versus you, it's a very tough spot.
Thank you for respecting me.
I think Chance should...
Oh, he's calling once he sees them.
well, of course he's calling. I don't think there's actually any need to count, but he's lucky that it's not the previous hand that he found pocket tens.
There we go. Does make the call. They are off to the races. Viktor behind just with his ace king, and is he at risk of elimination here? If Chance were to
be a
lose
solo
this
versus
pot,
you.
he would be way the shortest stack himself.
It'd be a slow roll if he showed you the aces first.
So Viktor needs to hit
He's
an
got a
ace
pan.
or
He's
a
like, all
king
right,
here.
Run times into aces. Here you go.
It's all smiles at the moment.
Well, we've all been there
You can find a way to check this hand and see what we have.
100,000 times before. Ace king against the pair.
Well, 9-6-5, all good so far for Chance. There is a backdoor
You don't
heart
want
draw
that.
for
You
Viktor
don't want
here.
7-8, my friend.
Yeah, 7-8 wouldn't be much good.
Yeah.
Give Chance a top higher straight.
Well, yeah, he's called for a run out or losing the pot. 7-8 of
7-8
hearts though.
hearts.
Yeah, a couple of
7-8 of
would
hearts
be
isn't even good.
No, straight
7-8 of
flush.
hearts will give Chance a straight flush.
A couple of hearts.
3 on the turn, changes nothing. Viktor down to just 1 card. Needs an ace or
I saw you do
a
this earlier.
king.
You got to counteract the play.
Is that mine or yours?
Well, deuce on the river, no good for Viktor. He leaves in 6th
Is that
place,
yours or mine?
picking up $80,000 for his efforts. And well, Chance now recovered some of those chips, back up to $5.5 million here on this final table. All the players now guaranteed that 6-figure payday. And well, a bit unlucky there, Simon, for Viktor, of course, just running into a pair and then losing the flip.
Fold ranges under ICM.
Hand as good as ace king. You got bar equity when he wins. So.
Oh, for sure. Friendship equity.
Action in round 2. Elias on the button. King 6 offsuit. See chip lead. He's been pretty relentless.
I expect him to open here. Especially the fact that he's in a good commanding position with the stack that he has. Is that a limp?
Yeah, it's limps it in. Well, obviously chance with a 17 big blind stack in the big and did 3-bet jam in the last time he opened, albeit with a hand. Maybe he's...
But he's got a decent blocker against a short stack on the big blind.
Right.
Farrell's not going to really get out of line against another big stack. I think that would have been better for an open King 6. For sure. He can't just think to himself, he's short enough that he can jam a lot of his range. He still has to pick up a hand to jam.
All right, and a bit of trouble for him now because obviously chance has flopped bottom 2. Darren is now deciding to make his bluff.
Yeah. It's not going to work out well. As you can see, he's only got 4% equity.
Yeah, chance does just call. And wow, king on the turn. Imagine this then to go check, check.
Yeah, it's going to go check, check for sure. He's picked up some showdown. He might actually bet it and try and get to the river.
Right, bet it and then check back the river.
Yeah, but it's fine to check back, obviously. And this is going to be interesting because he now has a hand that he can win the pot. But does he feel as if the king's good enough showdown?
Right. So if he's obviously chance may have had king or queen flush draw.
He does
also
beat
cool with a jack and
7x. The king 6 does beat like 7-8 with 8 of spades,
right.
jack 9.
That's what I'm saying. It beats a lot of the hands, right?
Yeah. He's probably got to assume as well when he limps the button, chance is going to jam a lot of his aces.
Right. Very good point.
And this is now a tricky spot for chance. Because his limping range on the button actually does include a lot of 10s.
Right.
Like 10 jack, 10 queen. But even then, I'm saying like, obviously 10 queen makes the nuts in the turn, which does bet.
Yeah, especially with 3 spades out there. He makes the call.
Good call.
Wow. He made a fold on a 4 to a straight board earlier against Darren.
So we check for a spade again.
2 pair. This time he makes the call. The first time he was up against the nuts. The second time he's up against the bluff. So chance is ducking and diving, dodging and weaving.
He is dodging and weaving, yeah.
Of course,
this is what happens. I'm saying like his short stack, he's going to make sure he plays every hand very, very tight.
I'm just going to do it on one bullet. I'm not one of these. I can just do it on one. You've got to believe in yourself.
I can wait till Wednesday or Thursday. It's irrelevant. I'm going to make it through with one anyway. It's all good.
None of this. How many can we fire each day?
Ooh. You would have had to think a bit. No, I would have folded instantly. I don't have that. I mean, but I like you.
Chris Lips in the small with 9-7.
Yeah, it was great to see you as well, Robert.
Yeah, I was about to say, of course, Kilted Sharks popped in here.
Team Scotland for the win, definitely.
That'd be a good call.
I'm going to have to be biased here on the commentary booth. And
there's nothing wrong with a bit of bias, mate.
Yeah, and root for Farrell. Unfortunately, he lost that last hand.
You mean so you could throw in the muck?
No, ace jack would have been a rip there.
Ace jack right in the muck. Right? No?
No, what?
Ace jack right in the muck.
Chris has checked his straight draw, perhaps surprisingly here, having him from the small. Darren's bet second pair.
But he is up against the chip leader. He doesn't want to be forced like to bet, then get raised, and all of a sudden he's going to play a big pot, whereas he didn't need to. He could check call.
Good luck, my friend.
That way he gives himself an option to get to see the river card.
And wow, what a turn card that is for him.
Fantastic.
I knew if it was good
the
enough
nuts,
for Zinno, it was good enough for me.
He's still going to keep the same line and check it. And it's a good chance Darren's going to check it back here.
Really good.
He's got like the worst 8 you can like ever bet.
Well,
and that
3 on the river.
Nice. If Christopher does seem does find a check here, unlikely, But if he did,
Well, what if he bets? Does Darren not raise?
no, I think he just calls, depending on the sizing.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If he goes to kind of like a block sizing,
That's the thing with the game at this moment in time. I'm saying, like, it would have to be a very small sizing.
well, it is pretty small. 350.
Well, that's perfect. Darren's going to make it like 1.1 million. And Christopher may just be all in.
He just gets to say those words.
Yeah, the sizing, very good sizing here from Christopher.
It's a perfect run out for Chris. Not only did he turn the nuts, but he missed a heart or spade came on the river as well.
If Christopher did go like half pot here, I would just assume that Darren would just snap call.
Right.
If he went like 70% pot, I would assume he'd just go half pot.
He's got 1.6 by the looks of things here.
That's monstrous. I thought he was going to go like 1.1. He's went 1.6.
Just trying to get Chris to hero him.
He does beat like 5-6. That's the only two pair that he beats and gets maybe called off of. But at the same time as making it 1.6, when he does get jammed on, it makes it easier to fold at times.
Because it's harder to bluff that sizing.
Yeah. But there's all sorts of levels involved in these situations. You can level yourself. There goes the time bank.
Balance the old time bank usage.
Yeah, definitely. That's what it's there for. Not for decisions.
Of course,
as you can see, he has no decision.
Yeah, I mean, Darren's just hoping that Chris somehow got to the river here with an 8 or a 10, I guess, that isn't going to fold. When he raises, it just looks so bluffy with all those draws missing. But we can see Chris has the nuts. Just deciding how much to make it.
I think this is going to be all in.
Well, I was about to ask you that. As a bluff, given the ICM considerations, would he not bluff smaller than all in?
No, I don't think he would. I think he's trying to decide whether or not he should make it like 4 million and keep himself like 4 million back.
It looks like he keeps himself 4 million back, right?
Yeah, that way he gives himself a chance to outlast Zinno.
Yeah.
And get that extra 25k pay jump or whatever it is.
I think it's definitely something he might do here.
But the question is, if he were to turn some sort of hand into a bluff, I'm trying to think what hand would he get to this stage with.
Wow, he's burning all the time cards.
I think he's just trying to...
Darren just obviously thinks he's got the best hand.
I don't know if he's made up his mind and decided he's going to shove all in, or he's trying to think what is the best, because he is very much like one of the best players online. He's done a lot of work in this game in the last few years, so he's actually probably running everything through his head, thinking to himself, what does he have? What can he think that I have that I could be turning into a bluff?
Here we go.
And he's going to go... He's went for 5.2 million. Okay.
Wow, and Elias wants to be sick. So yeah, he has left himself those chips back, perhaps making it look like it could be a bluff.
So he's ended up going in between the all-in and the 4 million or whatever we were talking about.
That was fun. I miss hanging out with you and Emily.
Wow, huge pop going off there.
Like he's used a lot of time banks there and he's worked out what he thinks is the best play.
Right.
Because at the same time as you making that play, you can't just be making that play because you have the nuts. You've got to also think, what hands
what
is he going to perceive that I'm going to be turning into a bluff?
Right, that was why I thought maybe less than all in is...
And I'm trying to think just now by looking at this board, and it's taken me a long time to think. So, I think Darren's going to... I think Darren's
like
going to...
Jack 9, maybe Queen Jack, those kind of hands.
We can throw some hands into like the loop, but they would have to be like king high, ace high type hands that have showdown value, that don't lead the flop. So that's pretty much natural from Darren. He's going to use another time bank as well because I think he's going to work out the correct decision and fold.
My only question is...
He's thinking clearly, like, what are the hands here that he's bluffing, turning into a bluff?
The question I was going to ask you is, obviously, his value hands are pretty much, just the nuts. Like, I'll come back to my thought, which was, I asked you, does Christopher not usually bet this flop? And there we go. He has made the call.
I think the fact that he played the hand so good by not leading the flop with 7-9.
That's what sold it. Surely he'd expect him to lead 7-9.
Because if he had like 7-4, obviously it's a totally different situation in the sense it's 5-handed and there's a lot of ICM involved now.
Right.
But if we were playing like basic poker when there was like 50 players left, if he had 9-7 here, and there's no ICM consideration, he would lead.
Yeah.
I'm saying like, yeah, I didn't really like that.
Well, John has informed us that Malibu is the guy who runs the high-stakes room here. So,
Oh.
I mean, if we inform him that John's coming in for some cash games, then I think, well,
It's hard to get in that high stakes
the
room.
list will get
The
along.
security is tough outside.
I've noticed actually that you walk past the security
They're
guards
just
have a
holding the
hand on the
doors.
door.
Yeah, they're like, nobody's getting in here.
Well, look at this, Zinno with kings.
And he's
15 big blinds, 16 big
He's
blinds.
going to make it 600.
Yeah, well, of course, if you are raising small, he's got to raise small again here.
Raise.
550.
Mickey, you got that $18? You got that $18?
Sorry, Anthony. Roughly how much did you say?
Oh, wow, this is a disaster.
Sigh for Farrell.
3.4
Been dealt some
back.
rough spots. This is another one.
4 back. Yeah.
Ace king against Zinno's kings.
Yeah.
It's just a spot he'll think for a little bit and jam, right? 23 bigs. Nothing else he can do. Does move all in. We've seen Zinno sneak loads through, but
That seems fair.
no, Zinno has raised with loads of hands and finds the kings when Frado rips in the ace king. Frado does cover. It is Zinno at risk.
Sorry, the kings.
Frado, of course, just that lone overcard.
Unfortunately, you've got kings. It means you only have one out.
He's, of course, making the point. If he hits an ace at Zinno and he has one out to redraw.
Yeah, that's the only good thing in this situation. If Farrell does flop an ace or turn an ace,
How about it just comes ace-ace? then
it's
you
hard
kill
for
the guy,
Anthony
you
to get out of this one.
Oh,
Oh, that's
oh.
interesting.
know? Spicy. Frado with backdoor clubs and now a gut shot.
Are you leaning up to see if the floor is a club?
We can call in the nine of clubs on the
Somebody
turn.
pulled the queen, right?
9 of clubs.
I folded one.
So you're going for 9 clubs, yeah?
Yeah.
Little extra sweat.
One or two. Yeah.
He pulled
3 of clubs. Let's go.
The full chain.
For max what?
I'd say 3 of clubs. That's
3 of
fair.
clubs is
It's
fine.
fair.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
fair.
yeah.
Okay, the players are saying 3 of clubs.
Not a
3
club. Come on.
looks at the diva.
We all agreed.
So Frado will need that ace or queen on the river. Otherwise, Zinno will double up.
Super sweat.
5 on the river.
The old 3-5 offsuit runner. Fucking go on.
Whoa! Whoa!
He is, of course,
Still
joking.
one of my favorite
Yeah, he's obviously just having a
Tells
laugh
the
there.
dealer
But
to effing rot.
yeah, some classic Farrell banter there.
It's the Scottish banter, right? It's just a little strong sometimes.
It's a little strong, yeah. It's
Maybe
a bit
uninitiated.
straight to the point.
The uninitiated is a little strong. I mean, he is from the posh part of Scotland, right? So,
Apparently is. Victor Ramdin cashed again.
in fact, Viktor Ramdin, yep, second final. He did cash, and of course, John went out just for him for 60k. So they're the 2 players who've cashed so far. Of course, John was knocked out by Farrell. Seems like a long time ago now.
If you guessed, I'd tell
Who
you.
was
but you
this?
only get one
Knocked
more
out?
guess.
John
One more guess.
Krpan was knocked out by Farrell a long time ago. With
Oh,
7
okay.
left.
Okay.
It was only it was a less than 10 big blind shove.
And Isildur bubbled.
Isildur did bubble. He came in as what, 2nd or 3rd in chips, I think, on the final, and ended up bubbling. Well, here goes Farrell, ace 3.
And Chance is going to probably look him up.
I guess just flat.
Yeah.
See, 4 calls.
He's actually, Chance has got very lucky here that he's actually
Which one do I need?
in very
I'm
good
guessing
shape.
this one now.
Right. Yeah. Calling with 5s in your.
Yeah, I'm saying like that's why I'm saying like maybe 5s is like the cut-off point here, because you don't really want to be calling deuces, 3s, 4s.
Especially with those guys behind you, right?
Maybe
Well,
not even 5s with 2 players behind you. Even though Farrell's short and he's jamming a large part of his range,
well, let's see what
he's
he
going to
does
have
here.
2 overs a lot of the time.
For the 2nd all in a row, he needs an ace up against a pair.
Why not just get the 10-10-9 flop?
I like it, give him those extra outs.
Like
Well,
we need to board the pair.
Queen, Jack 6. Well, he's called for it himself. Board the pair.
Board the pair.
Pair the board.
Pair the board.
I've even got you doing it now. You said board the pair. I tricked you.
Board the pair.
I'm trying to give it fair. I'm not
Jump on the pair. That's what board the pair means.
No, I didn't. I agree.
Pair the board is what he's asking for. Well, 7 on the
How
turn.
unfortunate is that?
just
Like any 10, any king, any 6, Jack, Queen gives him additional outs.
Well, he still can't get out of this with an ace on the river. What will it be? Ah, it is a 10, and that is it. Farrell,
GG Farrell.
there's a few all-ins there. Unfortunate will leave in 5th place.
I think that's very likely he will be hitting the bar very
I think
shortly.
I think that's a fair shout. Anyone who knows him. Well, look at this. Farrell out in 5th, and just another player that Chance has knocked out. He's now knocked out 4 of the 5 players on this final table.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And that's coming from like quite a small stack that he's had.
And yeah, then he was chip leader with sort of 7 left and went all the way down to the shoulder stack and is now coming back up again. Confidence will be high. Unlucky for Aldo. And as always, we look forward to his interview. Always a good one for an exit interview for Aldo.
Yeah.
But 100k, not so bad, is it?
Yeah, 100k is not too shabby, that's for sure.
I think he might say, like, go to the bar and then maybe play the main event tomorrow.
Well, not a good hand, well, maybe, but...
Let's see what's going on in this hand. Action to Zinno on the button. 7-5 offsuit.
I see another question here.
I'll fire it over to you after this hand, my man.
Weak on the turn.
A Ludo-based question.
Small blind cross.
And 10-8.
Really? Wow.
Oh, Chris limps 3 deuce from the small. Darren with king 5 in the big. And Darren might raise this one up.
I think it's standard just to check it.
Well, he has checked it. I'm only saying that because I saw in a spot earlier it was pretty standard and he just did decide to raise in a similar spot. But of course that was when he had the chip lead. Oh, he's been outflopped here. Chris pairing that deuce.
Yeah, I think Chris is going to lead 1 big blind here. This hand needs protection. Oh, well, he didn't.
Yeah, I just had a feeling you were like close to dead.
Fair enough.
That you were close to dead.
Yeah. Sure was.
That's why Christopher's better than me, because I would lead 1 big blind.
Well, you might have won the pot though.
Yeah, but he's probably theoretically correct.
Yeah, but you'd have won the pot.
Mathematically correct.
Yeah, but he would have mathematically won the pot. Yours would say 100% right now.
Well, probably would have, yes.
Pour into your bottle. I can have cheersing your empty thing.
He does check it over once more. Well, pretty scary board for deuce. Although, wow, look at this. Darren checks it back. 9 on the river.
Christopher's just like, please win this pot.
Yeah, what is
please,
this run
please
out?
have ace-8, Darren. And just you've checked it back. Is Darren going to go for some value here?
Be ambitious, wouldn't it?
I don't think it's that ambitious.
He says he's got a deuce. Well, a couple of other little things for you here. First of all, we have a question. Well, in fact, first of all, I'll give this a little update. I'm just looking at the 1K Open event, the event that you won in Barcelona. I can see on mypartypokerlive.com that we have a new chip leader in that event, and it is none other than Chris Moorman.
The legend, Chris Moorman.
Here
chip
with our
leader.
5th place finisher, Niall Farrell, taking home 100,000. Paying for a couple buy-ins for the week, right?
Yeah, up a little bit, so hopefully we're not in the main like 20 times or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, pretty disappointed right now, but you know, it happens.
Understandably so disappointed. I thought you played incredibly well. You gave yourself a B plus, C minus, you told me?
Yeah, like B minus. I made a couple like smallish mistakes. So like I didn't make any like horrendous errors or stuff. I didn't play as perfectly as I'd like to play. You know, you always try and play better than you did.
Yeah.
But I think overall I played okay throughout. So.
Yeah, some tricky spots there for you. And then overall, how do you deal? I know you're walking away a little disappointed. What do you do afterwards? I know you're definitely planning on jumping in the main, not tonight, but.
Yeah, it's just working it. You know, you just move on to the next one and try again, and maybe go for a little beer or something, chill out for a bit. Nothing special, just
a little beer or something.
Yeah, just relax and chill out for a bit.
Sounds good. Well, best of luck to you moving forward, Neil.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much for Aldo. Back to you guys.
Pocket of queens.
That's not a bad hand. Johnson playing a lot of hands, now finds pocket queens.
C3 raised to 550,000.
Makes it 550 to play.
Oh my. Oh my, oh my, oh my.
Oh dear, chance.
Apotheosis has got pocket aces.
Oh, how long is this going to take to get in?
He's going to go like 1.375. This went big, 1.8. And is Chad's going to shove all in? I think he is. Or is he going to just flat call? I assume he's going to be all in. I think you're going to just be happy with the amount of money you're going to win from the hand in the first place. At the same time, as you don't want to risk getting. Oh, he's going to call. He's just called. Okay, fair enough. Kept his bluffs in.
Keeping things sneaky here on the final table. 4 million chips in the middle.
Like if there was like a short stack there, I would assume that he would be all in. So
Right.
nobody's short, which means
Right, he wants to
keep his bluffs in at the same time as
Right.
there's not a lot of ICM.
Yeah.
ICM.
Yeah, he's not just trying to.
But I was actually expecting them to go all in still.
Look at this. Chris checks over to Chance, who surely now will bet.
This is just a range check from Christopher.
Wow, and a check from Chance. What's going on here, Ludo? Oh,
It must be Chance's live tells. He must have just called pre-flop to set mine.
This has gone set mine in, just got himself a free turn.
Well, Christopher's just done a range check on the flop.
Right, he's going to check his entire range on that kind of flop.
Yeah, because it smashes Chance's range.
He checks it
And he's
once
still going to
more.
balance it with his ace jacks, his ace queens, his ace kings. Right. I've given up. This happens. This has been happening a lot recently. I'm saying, like, with poker, I'm saying, like, the aggression comes pre-flop, then all of a sudden it all slows down.
Well, Chance is going to find a bet now with his queens. 1.75 the bet.
The fact that he's not got the ace of spades in his hand, Christopher, it might feel as if Chance has picked up a flush draw, which kind of does make a little bit of
Right,
sense.
what are the other bluffs that he's going to bet with here?
I don't know, like maybe he just thinks as if he can get him off at ace king, ace queen. Maybe just bluff like king queen suited, king jack suited, jack queen suited, king jack suited.
Look at this, 7.5 million now in the pot. Chance
After both
6.6 back.
After both pairs, a three's a good card because nobody should have a 4.
Right. Is there a chance that Chance would ever have pocket fours here, or is he always going to check man back on the turn if he had peel with him pre? Which is obviously even a big question in itself.
I don't think anybody should be concerned about a 4 here.
Okay, so is Chance's line here then?
Especially not Chance. Chance never has a 4.
Right, so of course, I suppose Chris could have got out of line pre-flop.
With like ace 4 of spades.
Right.
Maybe ace 4 of hearts if he's going to just be balanced and check that flop all the time.
2.4 the bet. Snap call. And Chris says aces, and my Chance, I think, pretty feels a little fortunate to still be in, given he got dealt queens versus aces full-handed. You see there now, Chris, up to 22 million chips, is our chip leader. 13 bigs, moves it in.
13 big blinds and king queen 4-handed is an all-in every day of the week.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure Christopher
like a call.
is going to call this. This is like the bottom of his calling range.
Exactly, he's going to call it, and he's
like maybe like ace 7, ace 8 suited as well. But like ace 9 offsuit is like stone bottom. He's like, count please. He's going to make a decision. He's going to mathematically come up with the correct assessment.
Put it through the calculator
And he's
press the call button.
And he's going to slide the chips in, I think.
And he's going to hope Darren doesn't do anything behind him.
Yes. He may even just rejam. How many chips does Darren
I
have?
was going to say that it might. It's a 4 million jam. Darren's.
Oh, okay. Right. If Darren has like 10 million there, maybe it's just a rejam.
Darren's on about 10 million. Yeah, Darren's got 9 million, so it would have been. Well, he has made the call. Chance at risk now for remain.
It's a
his
fair
king queen.
It's a fair fight.
It is a fair fight.
If he hits a king or a queen, it's hard for Christopher to get out it. He's going to only have to hit an ace. But the only thing about this is when it does come ace high and dry, it's hard for king queen to win.
High and dry. That's what Chris is rooting for. 10-6-4. Nothing so far for Chance. We need a king, queen, or some runners for a straight.
Give it just a jack on the turn.
It is the all-in player.
Jack on the turn for the maximum sweat.
Jack on the turn. That's what Ludo's calling for. Pretty sure Chance wouldn't mind that. Well, any picture card, I guess, will take. Well, deuce, no good. We'll need a king or a queen.
Oh man, here it comes.
You've done the stand-up. You've done all the live pro tricks. He stood up to ensure it comes a king or a queen. There's an ace on the river. That will be that for Chance.
That's fine with you.
Our 4th place finisher here in this Party Poker Live Millions.
Yeah, he could
North
do
America
nothing.
Super high roller.
He could not do anything there.
No, pretty standard stuff there for Ludo. His 4th place though, good.
Hey guys, here with our 4th place finisher, Chance Kornuth. 125,000. Still a smile on your face. What a roller coaster of a day, sir.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Had all the chips, and then had no chips, and then a lot of chips again, but it was fun.
You ran into some hands. You made some good folds.
Yeah, I wish I would have got away from a couple more, but there was like the check fold versus Zinno that was really good in a spot where I would always bet, where I folded the queen 9 against Kruk, even the queens to aces. So there was a lot of spots that could have gone worse. So I'm happy with the result.
But still, you know, some festivities are awaiting, I believe.
I will probably have some beverages with some friends. I see a group of them right over there.
Yeah. Rooting for you.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. Incredible run, Chance.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Marion.
They all want a break. They want to chill out. They want something. They all agree to it. It's their table.
Right.
They get what they want.
Yeah, we're all here working for them, not the other way around.
Correct.
Darren raises the button. Well, here we go. This could be spicy. He's raised the button with 10s. Zinno with ace queen in the small blind. This is it.
Well, this is it for like whoever gets the chips out of those two to go heads up with Christopher Kruk.
Right. Yeah, they have very, very similar stacks. So you see, almost identical.
This is going to go 1950 if he keeps his 150 in the middle.
There it is, 1950.
And Darren's not going to mess about here three-handed with pocket tens. He is going to be all in, and Anthony is going to call. It may take a minute, but that is what's going to happen.
Right. And Kruk obviously loving this if these guys get it in. Here it is then, all in. Zinno snaps.
And whoever
These two then
wins,
flipping away here.
whoever wins gets to actually go up against the chip leader with a fighting chance.
And you see, Zinno does have him slightly covered, 1.1 back, 4 big blinds behind.
You have more than me, right? You have like 12, 13?
I think we have the same.
You do have pretty much the same. But Darren, right now you have slightly the better hand, 57%.
Chris, how's life?
There we go. Say, Chris, how's life?
Not too bad.
Okay, we're going
He's
to go.
about to ladder up.
We're going to go for it here. We're going to go King Jack 3, 2 spades.
King, Jack 3, 2 spades would give Zinno the gut shot and the backdoor spade draw.
Turn 4 of spades.
Wow. And then a hold. That's just too many out situation, surely. Well, Queen Deuce 3. Zinno smashes that one, pairing his queen. And Darren just asked for a longer dinner break. Looks like he's going to have a very long dinner break. Turn a 9. A little countdown here of chips, unless he hits the 10, of course. He's not dead yet. He's doing the old, getting ready to pay it out. A 9 on the river.
That's
That'll
unfortunate.
seal it.
I have like 11. Hold on. 4, 6.
Well, we'll just check it, but
Check it.
of course they will always check it, but the graphics would suggest.
Zinno's done very well. Obviously,
Yeah.
you've got to win your flips, I'm saying, but he's done extremely well for the whole tournament. He's been grinding it out, short stacked. All of a sudden, he's in a position where he's not that far off having a level stack with the chip leader.
Yeah, hi James. I'm amazed to see that I come back into the booth and Anthony somehow has made his way heads up.
Incredible. He just manipulated that short stack the whole way through. Won a big flip there.
Wow.
With 3 left. He and Elias were equal in chips. He got it in and had the best of that flip. So now suddenly he's even in chips, heads up.
No talk of a deal?
I don't know. We had the 30-minute dinner break just as that happened. It was one minute away from the break. So they took a 1 minute early break, and I don't know what happened. Doesn't appear to be in a deal. But of course, these guys would still want to play out for the title anyway.
Yeah, of course.
The trophy and stuff. So
Who's your favourite heads up then?
I think I'm going to take Chris from what I saw in the build-up to this short-handed play. But then again, you know, Zinno was handcuffed by a short stack pretty much the whole day, so maybe a little unfair on him.
Bet 375.
It's Chris betting here, and Zinno has bottom pair.
He lets it go, so as we can see, Chris now has a slight chip advantage, 71 bigs to 64. Tournament is structured to finish around about the 250-500 level.
And that's kind of where I drew up this morning in my head. I was thinking that might be where it finishes. Of course, 20-minute levels, heads up. So.
In theory, it should take 3 levels.
But having said that, Simon, obviously not often you get heads up in a poker tournament. They've got equal chips. So
yeah, very rare.
It does sway things.
350.
Don't forget the main event is taking place starting today. We've had only 165 entries on the first day one. We need 2,000 entries for our 10 million guarantee.
Raise.
Sure, it's going to pick up considerably towards the weekend. And obviously you can buy in for the first 4 levels of day 2 as well, or re-enter should you've got through with a short day 1 stack and get unlucky.
Oh, Zinno raises the button.
Oh.
Chris defends king 3.
Of course, the hands that they're going to be raising and defending with are completely different to what you've seen earlier.
Right, yeah, of course, heads up, you're going to play nearly every hand. Come on, look at this. Zinno flops an open ender.
King 3 of hearts against 7-5.
Of course, Zinno having raised pre-flop's going to bet this flop, isn't he, Simon?
Of course, an 8 of hearts on the turn would give us a huge action card.
You're calling for Bud already, I like it. Question whether Chris wants to continue here with king high. Does have some good turn cards to continue on, like you say, any heart, and of course 3 is around that 4. Deuce 5 or 7 will give him some extra cards to chase. And while king, certainly a good card for him.
Quick check from Chris. Action back on NC. Probably elect to check back here.
Will he keep up pressure? That's the question, like you say. If I see Chris's hand, he'd certainly check back.
It
Maybe he's
looks
going to
like
try and
he's
make him...
betting 2.6 million.
Bet 2 million.
He's bet 2 million. He's trying to put pressure on a 6 or a 4. Chris though with a king.
Zinno was the pre-flop raiser at 7.75. Chris called.
Oh.
Well, Chris does make the call with his king, so 6.65 in the middle. River, wow, gin for Zinno. The nuts.
What I like to do here is the same size bet that I made on the turn.
Is he optimistic that Chris perhaps has an ace when he's check called twice? He might go really big. You'd go 2 million then, about third part.
Yeah, would you? He's going a lot deeper.
Yeah, I think if he thinks he's up against an ace, he may bet big here. Oh, he's going really big. So he's going for the pot again, 6 million.
Bet.
7 million, in fact, going slightly over the pot. Falling in the mindset, Simon, of, well, I've got a good hand, I'll bet a lot.
The thing is, what can your opponent possibly call with? This is river 2 pair. You're not likely to get paid.
He does fold. Well, say Zinno unlucky his opponent didn't have anything, but of course lucky to river the straight. Now takes the lead.
Yeah, flip there.
Bet
Wow.
got raised, and he had the nuts. And he used 3 time chips before re-raising.
Really?
And got called.
That's an interesting way of using them. Clearly will defend with this hand.
Yeah, 7-8 of diamonds. Well, here we go, Simon, you were wondering.
First time we've had a 3-bet. It's not going to get through.
Zinno with ace-10 of clubs will be going nowhere.
I wonder if he'll 4-bet.
No, I don't think he can 4-bet. Simon with ace-10 of clubs is just too nice a hand. You've got position. plays so well, it'd be criminal to not see a flop with his hand if he were to get 5-bet. And obviously he can be in really good shape. Doesn't want to let Chris fold out those hands.
Well,
Well, he
wow.
does. He does 4-bet.
Just drops the hammer. I am shocked with that. Just drops it in on Chris. Well, at least, as I say, it'd be criminal to 4-bet and not get to see the flop. He made sure he's seeing a flop at least. Which of these guys will walk away with the title? I think we definitely had a guess earlier in the chat when Zinno was very short. Someone did suggest Zinno. It's a pretty good shout.
750.
750,000.
Harrison Shea said Zinno would win.
Really?
It's just as things started. A pretty bold guess from there.
Both players raising their button pretty much 100% of the time. Great flop here for Zinno, flopping top 2.
2 checks.
Or Chris C-bet with his queen 4.
Yeah, that's really. It's not good enough to take the showdown, and there are some turn cards that he can barrel on. Deuce 3, 6 will give him a straight draw, and 8 of course.
This is a good spot here. Well, he's asking for how much it was. Quite often when people ask a question, they raise. I'd actually like to see him just call here.
Yeah, I mean, that's just call surely. Top 2, let your opponent bluff. Well, here we go then. This is one of the cards he can barrel. Picks up an open-ended straight draw.
2 checks.
Now, does he check back, get a free card for the straight?
Well, obviously, yeah, the flip side of it being a good card for him because he can barrel and make a straight is, of course, Ant has check called that flop, so 6 may well have improved his hand a lot of the time.
He does. And I think Anthony would have check raised there.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, look at this. This is going to be a turning point for this final. That's extremely well hidden straight for Chris.
Yeah, Ant can have a form. Wow, Ant's made a check. That's a great check. I'm shocked he's checked there. You think could bet there. Now, Chris, well, just a question of how big, and you fully just got to go really big here.
Of course, the thing is, if most players, if they did have a 4 in their hand, would have bet that turn, even if they were C-bet the flop, having picked up the straight draw.
Right, you'd think he'd
would
have
have
to
bet
have a 4 with a pair, wouldn't you? And then
Yeah.
most of those pairs wouldn't bet the flop. He had 5, 4, 7, 4. He might just check back the flop. So he does go big, as I say, about 1.5 times the pot here.
350,000.
Zinno with top 2. How can he fold? You see him doing anything, Mike? Simon, sorry, but paying this off?
Well, he has to think it through and ultimately make the call, so he's not going to like it, but...
He's going to see a top 2 against Queen 4 on the Ace 5 7 board.
Sorry, 6 million.
Somehow lost a big pot.
375.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy about that. I think he planned to check raise the turn. Of course, Chris checked it back, caught the 3 on the river, put in a big over bet. And he's been paid, and he now regains the chip lead, 74 bigs to 60 bigs.
This is 50. This is 335.
Well, looking at day 1 here, the main event, the 3 chip leaders, Tony Dunst, Tyler Patterson,
No way.
and Michael Watson.
Tony Dunst, yeah, I saw him earlier.
That's a call.
And Chris does call with a dominated Jack 5 from the big blind. And while they each flop a pair, it's Jack 6 board.
And he has the Jack of clubs as well, so we should see a bet and a call.
So 2 bets, 900,000.
So Chris does check call that pair of jacks. Does have backdoor clubs working in his favour as well, but the 8 will change nothing.
Sit one checks.
Zinno to bet again here. 3.6 in the middle. Could bet a bit bigger. 2.2. Slightly over half pot. That's what I would do.
So that's what he's doing.
And there you go. Exactly what I said. 2.2. I like it when I get it right.
2.2 the bet.
Oh, he's going to elicit a call from Chris here. So this pot building now. 8 million in the middle.
Three on the river.
Nothing there really to bother Anthony. 8 million in the middle. I would bet this time, I'd bet 3.6.
Jack.
Well, you could always check, I suppose.
That doesn't make much sense to me, Simon.
No, it doesn't make sense to me either. I don't know what he was scared of. That 3 can make no difference whatsoever.
Guess he figured he was just up against another ace and he wasn't going to get called otherwise. Chris raising king queen. Zinno defends ace 5, flop ace 10 8. Chris with a gut shot. Zinno has flopped top pair.
C1 bets 1.1 million.
Chris has taken a stab, 1.1 the bet.
That's a call.
Zinno, of course, will call with his aces. Turn a 6 of diamonds. So Zinno's still out in front with that pair of aces. But Chris now has a flush draw to go with his gut shot. 3.9 in the middle. He's going to fire once more. 3.2 the bet.
3.2 million.
Zinno's top pair still good. Thinking hard. Surely it was just a call here in this spot. Wow.
Two folds.
Wow. Zinno just check folds. That's amazing. That's a very, very tight fold from him. A couple of times Zinno's maybe folded a little too tight here.
Both seen the same film.
Here comes the 3-bet. 3.5, and Zinno going nowhere with 10-9 of clubs.
Definitely not.
This could be the
Oh
hand.
God! Please don't do the all-in with 9-10 of clubs. He did it with Queen Jack of Hearts.
I don't think he'll play this for any more. Such a beautiful hand. Does have position. 2.5 to call. Yeah, we'll be on the 7 million pot once he does call. Yeah, these are definitely hands could clash here.
He's going to make the call. He's not going to pull the trigger. Okay, 9-10 of clubs versus pocket kings. Potentially the biggest pot of this heads-up coming.
Well, action killer ace. 6-7 out there and does now have a gutter. The one card Chris didn't want to see.
He just flat called, didn't he? The 3-bet. So if he has got an ace, it's not a big ace.
Yeah, I mean, Chris would be fairly sure he wouldn't have ace king anyway, obviously with 2 kings in his hand. But yeah, ace queen you expect he might have gone with. So well, that card will obviously make Chris feel a lot happier about life. Can't be outdrawn by another 2 pair. Less likely he is behind. Interesting spot here, what to do. And check back that flop. You know, Anthony doesn't really ever have king high because he's got 2 kings in his hand. I hope he's got a pair of some sort, or at least a decent draw. Gut shot draw is unlikely. He does bet very small.
Yeah.
Bet 2.1.
Zinno lets it go. $52.42. As you can see then, this is the Party Poker Millions North America 25k Super High Roller. We started with 34 unique players having 13 re-entries, giving us a total of 47. We're now heads up. Christopher has S5 of diamonds. Anthony has pocket 7s. We've only seen 3 pairs in this heads up, 5s, 7s and kings.
Go either way. We saw him 3-bet ace-3 of diamonds earlier.
Little oh!
Wow.
Surely Anthony's going to
Anthony
call here.
can't fold
Come on,
this.
Anthony.
This is it.
Ace-5 versus 7s.
This is it, Simon. We have it all in. Christopher does cover Anthony, but has the worst hand. Anthony doubles up here. Will take a huge chip lead against Chris.
Chris needs an ace to take this down. Could this be the last hand? Couldn't you have done it one hand earlier?
Need some beer. It's all smiles right now. Zino's won a few all-ins so far today. Can he win this one more?
This is for 140,000 difference.
Some 41.5 in the pot, 47 in play. This is basically for the title. Queen, Jack Deuce. So far, so good for Zinno.
Looking for the double up.
Chris will need to hit one of those aces if he wants to win it here and now.
Ace of spades would give Anthony a flush draw.
Turn queen does give him a few more outs. A jack will do it. Can win it dirty, Simon, with the old ace high 2 pair. So then just got to sweat those 6 outs to take a huge lead after navigating his short stack all the way through today. Up to heads up play.
Oh my! It's a jack on the river.
There it is.
We have our winner.
Jack on the river. That's how he did it. He did it dirty. Zinno laughs.
Yeah, man. Sorry about that. That's cool.
Well, Chris is your champion of the 25k Super High Roller here at the Party Poker Live Millions North America Festival. He needed a jack on the river to do it. But, well, he put in a pretty clinical performance today, Simon, on the final table. I know you saw parts of it, but
yeah. To be fair, James, you know that big bluff on the previous hand where it paired the 9.
Yeah.
And Zinno bet into him, and he pulled out the 4.5 million big bluff. Kind of gave me the edge for him to go on and win this, but to do it that way is a bit gutting. At least Zinno had the balls to stick the chips in with his pocket 7s and go for the race. We knew from earlier that he was willing to take that at some point. He certainly did. But today it ran out in Christopher's favour.
I think Zino's going to get bed tonight pretty happy. He navigated that short stack really well and found himself with a shot. Whoa, a great shot of taking
Absolutely.
a huge lead heads
Yeah,
up
I mean,
here.
I
Obviously,
think
he gets 235k, so we're not going to feel too sorry for him.
No. And when I was in the booth, if you remember, he was down to like 1.6 million, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And I was berating him at the time because he wasn't sticking it all in with the pocket sixes. Do you remember?
Yeah, that's
but,
right. Yeah,
you know, from that point, he built up to give himself a shot at the title and all the money to 375. So to actually go away with 234 is quite an incredible performance, to be honest.
And as we prepare for this winner's photo, we'll get an interview or two in here. Just a quick reminder, of course, we do have the Millions North America live stream $1,000 cent roll coming up. That is on Sunday, 9 p.m. CET. That's 3 p.m. EST on Sunday on Party Poker. First prize in that tournament is a 109 ticket, but all you have to do is get to the top 50 to get paid, as second to 50th we'll all get a $22 ticket. Is password protected, and the password is global. So you go and find that on Party Poker. Luckily for you guys watching the stream, the password's global. And well, it could be one of you guys turning that 109 ticket into a Millions main event seat. I know obviously there have been some great cent roll success stories.
Here with our 25K super high roller event champion, Christopher Kruk. Congratulations, Christopher. Meticulously played, sir. You really were very focused throughout this entire day. How are you feeling right now?
I feel good. I was happy to win. Obviously, a lot of tough players at this final table. And when we got down to heads up, the levels decreased to half the length, so it was kind of a crapshoot, but I got lucky to, counterfeit them, and worked out nicely.
Yeah, and those time banks worked out nicely for you as well. Incredible play there against Darren.
Yeah, it's just sort of a weird spot, and I think, it's a complicated one that would take me a long time to figure out with most hands that I have, so I wanted to make sure that I took a while, even with a good hand. So that was the thinking there.
Yeah, well, congratulations, a well-deserved win for you, and now looking forward to this main event.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully we can get through on one bullet, but, probably not, but we'll see.
Yeah, luckily you have a nice prize to get you through as many bullets as you need.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, congratulations, Christopher.
Thank you.
See you guys in the booth.
Well, not sure I agree with Christopher there that it turned into a crapshoot.
Yeah, I was
when
thinking that. They were like 50 pigs deep the whole way through. Well, there we go, Simon. That aside, this is how things finish.